Whew! It was a good day of racing. Had some fun, Came away with a couple W's. It was a good day. Excuse me, sir. Who are you? You're being protested for a cheater motorcycle. Call me a cheater? But it's your lucky day. Unfortunately, they don't have enough money to put it up for the protest, and we don't have a certified mechanic here anyway, so you scared me there for a second. Even if they did, we couldn't protest yet. We couldn't tear you down. So you won. Good for you. We're just going to sweep this under the rug, if you know what I mean. Have a good day. Oh, I thought I was getting DQ'd. Woo! That was a close one. Welcome back, subscribers. This is Johnny Hopper, and again, if you didn't like my thumbnail,
who the fuck is that
guy? It seems like I just keep pissing people off. It's kind of what is my forte, I guess, is what I do on YouTube. And you'd laugh at some of the hate comments and some of the private messages I've gotten on Instagram. It seems soon as a video catches on and gets a couple thousand views, sometimes 10,000, 20,000, woo! I'll leave it for another video. But this video is basically on cheating and how people just sweep it under the rug. I'm not talking about PEDs. I will talk about those at a later video. This is just simply cheating when it comes to the motorcycle, because a lot of other sports, it's so body oriented that there's nothing much more involved that you could cheat with besides some strategies and things like that. We're talking about Lance Armstrong and Olympic athletes, yada yada yada, but we have a sport where there's a motorcycle that you can beef up and bend some rules, have some gray areas. And I'm not calling everybody a cheater, because there are some ethical people out there in the world that they would die before putting race gas, a little bit extra oxygenated fuel, or big boring their motor, or stroking their motor, or just winking saying, no, this is a stock motorcycle. I didn't do anything to it. But there's also people that will do anything to win.
In heels, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever.
It happens in business. Sports is especially one. In business, it's tax evasion. You always hear about that guy getting stepped on. Nice guys finish last. There's plenty of other memes out there where this is a prime example. Politics. Everyone cheats at politics. And what you see on the media, it's hard to believe, because there's so much shit that goes on behind the scenes. And the same thing is with racing, and especially in the amateurs as well. And I'm sure you guys probably have some accusations on somebody you know, or if you're a cheater out there, maybe pat yourself on the back if you haven't got caught. I'm just kidding. There's that saying, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Don't cheat, everybody. Don't cheat. Don't do drugs. It's all bad. Nobody does it. It's not how you get ahead in life. And I'm not sour thinking that I wish I cheated more. I never cheated. I'm not a cheater. Moving on. Take that what you will, okay? Just all in sports. One of the biggest ones was the Patriots coach. I'm not a huge football buff, but I remember when this went down, it's happened a couple times where there's videotaping of other teams and stealing plays and yada yada yada. Yeah, that's a form of cheating, but there's a lot of money involved, so people are going to do what they are going to do to try to better somebody, especially if you guys are on a level playing field. Some of the stuff is just, especially in the amateur racing, it's hard to catch a cheater, because in the limited classes, they say, high compression pistons, port jobs, yada, 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 aftermarket ECUs. Well, what's the first thing you do when you want to make your motorcycle faster? A, get a high compression piston. B, you probably poured it out. And C, probably put an exhaust on it. And you probably change the ECU if you're going to run race gas, because if you don't change even the fuel map with race gas, you're kind of bogging down the motor anyway. And you run race gas, whether it's VP or Renegade or whatever gas you get, you check to see if it's on the list of approved, and hopefully you picked the right gas, but maybe you picked some other gas that's not approved, but you still run it anyway. I mean, you probably know a bunch of people that you have accusations that they're cheating or yada, yada, yada. I know when I was racing, there's just so much politics involved. Oh no, I've got a stock motorcycle. My kid, we can't do anything. Everything is just so stock, and he's just kicking everybody's ass, but we don't spend any money racing. And they show up in the big motorhome, and they've got 12 motorcycles. You're sitting there going, come on, really? And again, disclaimer, there's some very ethical people out there that would never cheat, but then there's some that feel the need to, all right? And there becomes a point where that need gets greater. When you see your son or your daughter, the dream of them having that factory ride, and all they need to do is beat all these other kids, and they're extremely talented. They go to the gym. I've hired a nutritionist for them. They're not in school. Do you think they might add a new ECU, a high compression piston, big bore the motorcycle, turn the 50 into a 65 maybe? Do you think that's all possible? Damn right it happens, okay? But in order to catch somebody, you got to protest them. And in order to protest them, what you have to do is you have to have some money. Just a compliance for a protest is only a $50 security deposit. And then if it's a 4-stroke, it's a $300 to tear the motorcycle down, or it's $150 if it's a 2-stroke. And then to test the fuel, it's $500. All right, and then another $100 is required for splitting the cases if necessary, to see if they have any other aftermarket stuff that's not there. And so that's a little bit of money, all right? And you might have already spent all your money on your mods, so you're probably maybe not going to protest somebody. But if you do protest somebody, I remember this has happened to me when I was a little kid. You protest somebody, but nothing happens because, like my intro, they don't have a certified mechanic that will do the teardown, so nothing happens, all right? It's happened multiple times. There's also been times where I've been at amateur nationals before, and I've had some people that we know get protested for fuel and blah, blah, blah. These are kids that you would know as well because they're long grown up now, and they've done amazing stuff in the sport of motocross, and they're retired. If I said their names, you'd probably know. But they end up getting disqualified because they're cheating per the rules. And that's another thing when it comes to cheating. The rules always change. Smoking pot used to be illegal, and now in so many states it's legal. You know, there's people that did life in prison for smoking dope, but now there's people that could go buy it for medical relief. You know, it's silly how you can just change the rules. Like Formula One, Ferrari, I don't remember what year, but they were kicking everybody's ass because they had traction control. So they outlawed traction control, but then they brought it back for everybody, so it was okay. There's so many of these gray areas when it comes to sports in general, and especially when it comes to cheating. I guess the point I'm trying to get across is sometimes cheaters win, sometimes they don't. And hopefully you guys choose not to cheat. And potentially in the professional ranks, it's easier to cheat because there's no real random teardowns. Yeah, for the podium they do the teardowns, but those are the factory guys. They're under a microscope already. They're gonna make sure their ducks are in a line. There's not going to be a satellite team or a privateer that gets out of his van and goes and finishes on the podium at a Supercross or a national. And so it's easier for somebody like myself to get away with big boring my motor or whatever, because unfortunately, whatever I could do cheating-wise to my motorcycle, I'm not talking about body with EPO and testosterone and Anavar and Winstrol and all these different PEDs, SARMs that you could do. I'm just talking about the motorcycle. And unfortunately, all the money in the world for making a cheater motorcycle for me would still never equal up to a factory ECU, factory motorcycle, factory suspension. That bike would never be up to par, no matter how much it was considered a cheater bike and the factories were there. You know, there's weight limits for the motorcycle. You could cheat by having all titanium bolts and blah blah blah, and the dry weight of the motorcycle, I'd have to look up the rule. It might be something like 220 pounds, but my motorcycle could weigh 200 pounds. And we hear all these factories of these 250s that make 60 horsepower. Well, if you know anything about dirt bikes, you know a 250 four-stroke stock makes about 44 horsepower. How are you going to compete with a factory bike that makes 60 plus horsepower that's usable power? They're not running nitro or anything. It's an unobtainium motorcycle. And you could do whatever you could to cheat and blah, blah, blah and get your bike to around that 60 horsepower. But it's probably going to be an unrideable KX500 that vibrates the shit out of you. And you might be actually faster on a stock motorcycle. So take this information for what you will. My goal is to get a conversation started. Maybe be gentle in the comments below, because I can just see it now. Johnny wannabe, Johnny the cheater, Johnny get the blah, blah, blah off, Johnny. And so I expect it. There's no such thing as bad press. So if I rile somebody up enough to leave a hate comment, I guess I'm doing my part as far as making the internet a safer, more beautiful place. Oh, don't forget, I've got that 10,000 subscriber giveaway where I'm giving away some awesome goggles. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram and comment your Instagram account in the comments below. And I will private message the winner, and I will FedEx you some awesome goggles. So this is Johnny. I hope you're having fun. Go watch some more videos, some tutorials maybe, or some more banter, because I like to talk. Until next time, this is Johnny signing off.